Welcome to our series, Moving America Forward. Each week we'll be focusing on America's entrepreneurs as they take us to new roads, new opportunities, new ways to fill the gaps left by today's failing companies. Our series will be looking at that and a lot more. So come with me and watch as the entrepreneurs of our nation move into the future.
And I'm Doug Llewelyn here in our studios in Los Angeles with our guest today, who is here from an organization known as St. Christopher's, Inc., which is an educational and social development organization that dates all the way back to 1881 to be exact. And they're headquartered in Dobbs Ferry, New York. They work with children. I think you're going to find this very fascinating indeed. I'd like you to meet now the Chief Operating Officer of the firm. His name is Horace Turnbull. Horace, welcome. Nice to have you with us.
Very nice being here, Doug. Thank you.
You know, yours is an extraordinary organization with a real rich history. We're going to learn a good bit about that right now. But first, I want to point out, a short while ago, you had a chance to answer some questions from William Shatner. So let's take a look at a brief portion of that right now and see how it went. Okay?
Okay.
Let's watch.
I know you've been successful, and to make that happen takes a good organization. Tell me how you would describe your organization and what they do to help move America forward.
Mr. Shatner, our organization works with the growing population of special needs children and young adults across 3 campuses, designed to deal with the mental health, emotional, and educational issues that impede their becoming productive American citizens, preparing them for college, employment, and independence. Our program is designed to teach and train them to be positive contributors to the society, and that, Mr. Shatner, is how we are helping to move America forward.
You know, that's really, really fascinating. Tell me a little bit about these kids. And I understand they range from, what, 12 up to 20, 21 at some times, right?
That's correct.
Where did they come from? What's their situation?
The situation with the youngsters is that many of them come to us from 2 portals, 2 doors.
Okay.
One is what was called the CSE, which is the Committee on the Handicap for Kids or Kids with Disabilities, and the other is DSS or court placements, Departments of Social Services or court placements. And they come because they are having major issues in the community schools or in the community in terms of their deprivation in education or in the social development issues that they're having, which are all stems from the mental health issues that may be underlying and prevalent in that case.
Some may be autistic or have problems like that, right?
One of our campuses specifically deals with kids who are on the autistic spectrum.
Right.
And there's a range of issues, and underlying those autistic issues may be some psychological, psychiatric issues, some physical disability issues, etc. And so that's one group. And one group on our Dobbs Ferry campus really has behavioral issues that are stem from some of the social environmental issues that they have been facing and have not been able to successfully negotiate. And then you have those who are somewhat more fragile, maybe on our New Windsor campus, that are somewhat more fragile psychologically. And so the range of services becomes extremely important, and the focus becomes extremely important.
As I've been pointing out, I mentioned that for some of these kids, it's like their last chance, right?
For many of them, yes. Regrettably, many of them would go into another system, even the prison system, or a system of dropping out of school, whereas they have little opportunity to realize the American dream.
Now, it's interesting, you have 3 different campuses, and they're large. I mean, there's a lot of acreage, and we'll get into that in a minute. But a lot of these kids stay there. It's 24/7. They are boarders, so to speak. And you have others who come in as day students, right?
That's correct. About 160 youngsters are residential, and that means that they stay with us, as you say, 24/7, and they're placed for whatever length of time up to the age of 21 when there are educational issues that have to be fulfilled, and trying to get them to be able to graduate from high school and go on. And some stay with us a shorter time than they may be Department of Social Service youngsters. But regardless of the length of time, the issue is, can we assist them in becoming productive? Can we assist them in dealing with the issues that they face so that they can process the correct information, make a good decision, and be productive?
Well, the bottom line question is, how successful are you in doing that?
Well, we believe we're very successful. As a matter of fact, one of the avenues that we use, one of the measures that we use, has to do with the fact that we graduate with diplomas more special needs youngsters than any other program that of our kind, we believe, in New York and maybe even the nation.
Well, it sounds like a real fascinating and interesting organization you have. I know you've been with it for a long, long time. You started really connected with it years and years ago. Tell me about how these campuses have come together, how the organization is funded. You're headquartered in Dobbs Ferry.
Yes.
That's a pretty good sized campus, right?
Yes, it's about 8 usable acres. We have some additional acres, but this is the ones that are used.
Right.
The Valhalla campus is over 30 acres. The New Windsor campus is 22 acres. And on each campus, there are buildings, there are units, what we call them, cottages, where youngsters live in a smaller unit than, between 13 and 14 youngsters per cottage. The whole idea, Doug, is that we must create an environment where the youngsters can feel comfortable, they can feel some sense of security and of continuity of what is being asked of them and what they're doing. And that is a part of creating an environment that allows them to grow positively.
Basically, do they want to be there or do they have to be there? What's that situation?
Well, you have a combination. You have youngsters who want to be there because some realize it's an opportunity to get better or to transcend some of the issues. Some don't want to be there. They would prefer to be at home in their neighborhoods doing the same things that they were doing that got them placed.
Right.
But in essence, this is for many of them their last opportunity to grow and have a meaningful life positively.
And what about the contact with their families and their parents? Do their parents, obviously they're still interested in their kids, do they keep in touch with them?
Well, a part of the program is, in order to deal with the environment and to create an environment that is conducive to positive development, one must look at the whole environment. The parents are part of that environment. And yes, we require that parents are involved with their children. Many times it's a grandparent, sometimes it's a foster parent, but at least a positive adult in that kid's life needs to be involved in the whole process. Treatment does not happen just in a vacuum. It must be done on an overall basis.
And I understand they come there as young as about 12. That would be the youngest age,
yes.
Right? You keep them up until, at some instances, 21. I guess that would be the maximum. And is it coeducational? Are there boys and girls?
There are boys and girls on each campus. Yes.
And are they housed separately?
Yes, they are.
Good question. Tell me about the teachers. Obviously, that's the most critical component almost.
Okay. Well, you have a staff. You have teachers, you have youth care counselors, you have clinicians.
Right.
You have people that work with them in recreation as well as the independent living skills. So the whole staff, I don't normally separate out one from the other because it's a continuum of care. You're creating a total educative environment that allows youngsters to grow positively. Teachers are trained, they're duly certified in both special education as well as a particular subject, a discipline. The youth care counselors receive not only training in terms of therapeutic crisis intervention. They receive training as well in terms of some of the counseling that is needed. Many of them are certified as youth care counselors through a program that we have with the University of Oklahoma. And it's all because we want them to be able to deal with youngsters. Our clinicians are social workers as well as psychologists and mental health workers. And they all work together because it's one child and one plan.
And when they finish their program there, I mean, some of these kids obviously have some learning difficulties or challenges, I would assume. What are they prepared for?
We're trying to prepare them to have a meaningful existence. And by that I mean developing the work habit skills, developing a stronger value system and being able to stick to it because they developed a level of self-confidence.
Right.
Also developing some practical work skills. A great part of our program is designed now to focus young people on their vocational skills, the vocational development, that is from soft skills to hard skills, where they can have a marketable skill when they leave. That gives them a leg up on the situations that they're going to face.
You know, you said soft skills versus hard skills. Define the differences. What is that?
The soft skills are those skills that allow a young person who has had emotional difficulties and behavioral difficulties to deal with people that they work with, to deal with the society at large, but particularly co-workers and supervisors. We know that most young people lose their jobs not because they don't have the hard skills, but because they don't have the ability to relate to supervisors or to relate to co-workers or to relate to stressful situations. That's what we mean by developing and training about the soft skills.
The other key question is how is the school, St. Christopher's, funded?
St. Christopher's as an agency there's a two-pronged funding stream.
Not part of the church, by the way.
No,
Some
not
people
part
may
of
think.
the church.
Right.
It's a non-sectarian organization. And we're funded two-prongly, and that is, one is through the state education department that pays the tuition for youngsters, and the other is by the counties where the youngster comes from, who pays what we call the maintenance. That is that portion of the cost that takes care of all of the other 18 hours a day outside of the actual education part, or the academic portion.
Do you take donations? Are you seeking donations from individuals, or you're constantly, I would assume, looking for grants from government agencies, things of that nature?
We do not only take them, we gladly accept gifts of contributions.
I can appreciate that.
From all of those avenues. And particularly we need to continue to develop that, because the public funding only funds some of the necessities of the kids. But in order to deal with all of their issues, you must supplement that on a great basis. For instance, some of the vocational education pieces that we have put in place and that are planning to put in place require private dollars. Corporations, foundations, but particularly individuals who have an interest in helping these young people realize not only their potential, but also have the opportunity to develop it and become productive.
Well, it's a remarkable story about a remarkable organization, St. Christopher's in Dobbs Ferry, New York. Thank you so much for telling us about it.
It's my pleasure. Thank you.
Now it's my honor to present this prestigious award to St. Christopher's Inc. of Dobbs Ferry, New York, for the outstanding work they are doing to help keep moving America forward. Mr. Turnbull, thank you very much and congratulations.
Thank you very much, Doug. And on behalf of Dr. Marr, our Executive Director, our staff, and our board, but most of all on behalf of our children, we thank you, and we continue to try to move America forward by helping them.
Very good.
That's it for another edition of Moving America Forward. I'm Bert Tenzer. Join us again as we continue to bring you the entrepreneurs who move America forward.
I'm William Shatner, and for all of us at Moving America Forward, thanks for watching.